Protect yourself and your family from unexpected challenges. Consider accident-only income protection. Click the link in the description to find out more.
Boxing King Media in association with SaveMoreMoney.com and the Riyadh season. With me, Frank the Tank Smith. Frank, great to see you back in Saudi Arabia, enjoying the festivities.
I love it, mate. Great to be back. What a way to end the year in Riyadh with such a huge show. It's going to be a special night Saturday.
I mean, let's be real, there was a lot of talk, a lot of things were said in the past between yourselves and Queensberry, but it's just great to see you guys getting along. I see you with Matt Rich with your hand around his shoulder, talking, laughing, joking. It's good for boxing.
Yeah, 100%. Look, everything that is done on camera, it's all a pinch of salt. At the end of the day, we all just want to do good business and do the best thing for our fighters that we represent. And if that means coming together, that's great for the sport.
I mean, I know you're coming together for big shows in Saudi Arabia, but can we see more of it in the UK as well?
Yeah, but we have been as well. You know, we had John Ryder fought Zach Parker. You know, what was that, a year ago or something like that? You know, so we've done it before. It's not the first time we've done it, and we'll continue to do it. We have good relationships, and again, it comes down to working for the best of the fighters we all represent, whether that means going on our show, going on their show, going on another show. We've done it with Top Rank, Boxer, with Queensberry, all of these promoters, Golden Boy, and we will continue to do so.
I know you've been part of practically the growth of Matchroom. You've seen everything. Have you seen anything bigger than this?
It's huge on every level. You know, every time we've come to Saudi, it's been amazing, but this is massive, obviously. It's a massive night for Riyadh season, and it's great what they're doing for the sport of boxing, delivering the biggest nights for the sport, and yeah, it's brilliant to see.
I mean, everyone I speak to had the three main heavyweight fights. A lot of people are split. Your guy Joshua, there's a lot on the line for him. He's got a lot to prove to what he says. That there's a lot of haters out there. How much pressure is there on him to make sure he's victorious on Saturday night?
I think he's had pressure his whole career. This is no different tonight. You know, his whole career has been about what's next, always looking at the next step in his, you know, what's he going to do next year, what's he going to do his next fight. You know, he's focused on Saturday night. He knows Otto Warlin's a good, you know, a great fighter, but at the same time, I think he's going to go in there and do a job on Otto on Saturday.
I'm sure you've seen his clips on social media of some of the interviews he's done. He's been very subdued, like one-word answers. Why is that?
I think he's focused on the fight. You know, he's got to go in there and have a tear up. And I think it's all part and parcel of that. He's done, you know, the niceties, the talking as much as it's part of the job and it's part of what he has to do. The main part of his job is to get in there and get the win on Saturday night, and that's what he's focused on.
A lot of things have been said about him. You know, Big Baby Miller said some stuff. Deontay Wilder has said some stuff about his kind of mental well-being, and he's not mentally there, and he's mentally weak. Do you feel like from the other side that people are envious and jealous of Anthony Joshua, what he's achieved, how much money he's made, and his profile at the same time?
He's had that his whole career, though. The whole way through his career, he's had people judging him, questioning him whether mentally he's got but that's the thing about being on top, about being the number one in the sport, really. When you look at what he's done in the sport, he's always going to be questioned more than other people, and everyone questions everything he says, they don't do with other people. So like, I think he's used to it, and I think he's just focused on bettering himself and improving himself. He's used to hearing all this stuff. You know, but a lot of people have changed. Deontay Wilder's changed a lot in the last few years. He's a lot more calm, placid than he used to be. So that they all change, and they all, you know, everyone talks about AJ, but it's no change.
I know Anthony Joshua isn't looking past Saturday night, but yourself, Eddie, of course, going to map out what an ideal 2024 looks like. Rumours about March 9th. I know the Kingdom here celebrate Ramadan, and just before Ramadan commences, they want to do another one. March 9th, can you tell us anything about that?
No, look, we're focused on Saturday night. You know what? There's been so many talks for years. AJ's whole career has been surrounded by what's next. Like I say, is Wilder next? Is this next? And you know, he's got to focus on Saturday night. He's got to focus on the fight against Otto Warlin because it's a proper fight. You know, so get through that, and then we go from there. You know, it's our job to do work in the background, but we're not looking past Saturday.
Just on Wilder, Parker, Wilder's been quite inactive over the last couple of years. Just your thoughts on that fight itself?
Yeah, look, Joseph Parker's had a lot of activity as well. In that, I think, like you say, Deontay's boxed once in 25 months, one round in 25, 26 months. But at the same time, you have to stay away from Deontay for 36 minutes, and that's the key. I think if Joseph Parker can do that, he can win the fight, obviously. But it's going to be a tough fight, and I'm looking forward to it. It's a great fight. Could go either way. Joseph's a tremendous fighter, and I think, you know, he's 31 years old. He's been in there with some of the best heavyweights, and I think he's experienced enough to go in there. But it's going to be a tough one. I'm looking forward to that.
Big Baby Miller was very vocal at the launch press conference in London. He's been very vocal this week. Just your thoughts about Big Baby being on this card and the things that he said about Anthony Joshua.
Yeah, look, again, everyone talks about Anthony Joshua. You know, we've been very open in the past about our views with Jarell Miller, but, you know, he's on the show. He's boxing, obviously. It's been 4.5 years since the situation we had with him. I don't think, you know, we've spoken about, I don't think we would have necessarily worked with him ourselves because of the things that have happened. There's been a lot of talk, and sometimes it's hard to get past that. But yeah, I don't look too much into, you know, he's got to focus on his own fight and his own career rather than talking about Anthony Joshua.
I haven't caught up with you, but obviously Eddie confirmed that Conor Benn was looking for another opponent. Chris Eubank Jr. decided against taking that fight. Just your thoughts. I know, obviously, you're practically family, but just your thoughts on why that happened and can we see that fight down the line sometime?
Yeah, look, it's a shame. As always, it comes down to money. And when it's when one person's happy and the other, it takes two people to want to get in there and do it. And if you're not happy, you're not happy. You know, but I like, from our perspective, I'm content that we did everything we could to try and make it happen. You know, hopefully we see it in the future because it's a massive fight for British boxing. And I'm confident we will see it. But one of those things, and we now have to focus. We represent Conor Benn. We got to keep him active, and Feb 3rd's the target for us.
That February 3rd date, with there not being Chris Eubank Jr. next. Does that look like a semi in America?
I think so. And look, 147 is what we're targeting for that fight. So yeah, that's the target. We work to get it done over the next few days.
Just end on this, obviously, a massive night of boxing Saturday night, broadcasted TNT and DAZN, Eddie and Frank, yourself and George, PR teams, everyone's getting along. There's no clashes.
Oh no, look. We don't need to. There don't need to be clashes. We all just want to do good business, good things for the sport, and that's what we'll continue to do. It's all fun and games. We can say things on here, but you know, just let it slide away, and we'll do good business. That's the key.
Frank, appreciate your time as always. I'm sure we'll catch up with you before the end of fight week.
Cheers, mate. Good to see you.
Have you ever been stranded on the side of a motorway with a broken down car? Like me, is that something that worries you? That's where motor breakdown insurance comes in. If your vehicle breaks down, a trained professional will be sent out to get you back on the road. Or if this is not possible within the specified time frame, to transport you to your home or to the nearest garage.